All right, good evening. I've got 6:30. It's Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. I'm Mayor Tome. I'm here to call the Columbus Common Council regular meeting to order. If everybody's ready, we'll have Clerk Gable take a roll call for us.
Johnson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Tylen.
Here.
Tome.
Here.
Traxler.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Ed. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion or agenda is approved. On to correspondence and communication. I have one signed up, that is Chief Dennis Weiner.
Good evening. I just have two real brief things that I wanted to bring up. First of all, a reminder of the active shooter preparedness training that is being held tomorrow at the Columbus Middle School from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. It's being taught by Deputy Matt Janatchek of the Columbia County Sheriff's Department, an experienced veteran of the department, a lot of training. He's been on their SWAT team. I just want to put out a last appeal that we really hope to get a good attendance on it. In some of the other community events or community programs we've done or presentations, we've had kind of mixed results. And I think this is a topic of interest to everybody. Even though it's being held at a school, it's considered preparedness pretty much for everyday life. It's not focused on a school active shooting scenario. It's focused on your workplace, at home, if you're out in public. So it's kind of a very broad addressing different types of situations where an active shooter situation you may encounter. So I'm just want to remind everyone that it's from 6 to 8 tomorrow night. I'll be there as well, but Max will be presenting, and I hope to see everybody there. Secondly, real briefly, I wanted to introduce our newest officer. He graduated from the Police Academy on Friday and started with us yesterday. If you're going to come on up, Dylan. This is Dylan Klitsky. He is from Arlington. He went through the 18-week police academy, again, graduated on Friday, academically did outstanding in the academy. He starts, we have what we call phases of field training. He's in phase one now of the three-phase field training with Sergeant Ward, who has 15 years of law enforcement experience. So we rotate them through different trainers to get them accustomed to different methods and styles and personalities. And each phase has got different duties, and as it goes along, they take on more responsibility and more duties to where at the end, an officer rides with them for a week plain clothes, pretty much just watching and not interacting. So this is Dylan. He's from Arlington. I just asked him to stop and say hi, and he looks forward to working here. We're really excited.
How's it going? My name's Dylan Klitsky. As he said, I would just like to give you guys a thanks for giving me the opportunity to work for Columbus.
Thanks. Welcome, Officer Klitsky.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, was anyone else present that didn't get a chance to sign up for citizen comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have two items on the consent agenda. One is the Council and Committee of the Whole minutes for April 20th, 2019, and special, well, that was the special meeting, and then also May 7th, 2019. Any discussion on that item or the revised picnic license application for the HLPC Summer Concert Series for 2019? That application is being amended to add wine. I don't know who had their light on first. Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so the amendment is just to unstrike the striked items on the retailer's license, essentially. That is what we were looking at.
That's my understanding.
Okay. So would it be the exact same wording, except it would have the CDDC, and then the striked areas would be unstriked? Okay, thank you.
Ed?
I think there's a correction that needs to be made to the Common Council regular meeting minutes under item 7. In that I abstained on item 7, I don't believe I seconded the motion. So,
For the proposed lease with the Chamber of Commerce?
correct.
Yeah, he did abstain from that, so he definitely didn't second that.
Yeah, it actually says it at the end of the motion. Number 7 on the regular meeting. All right, anything else? All right, if there's no further discussion with those revisions to those meetings from the regular meeting, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. New business number 1, consider and take action on mayoral citizen appointments to boards, committees, and commissions. There should be a list in your packet, kind of a follow-up from the last meeting. We have Aaron Lyons for the CDA, Eric Lewis for the Planning Commission, Mike McCabe for the Tourism Commission, Jason Letha for the Zoning Board of Appeals, and Michael Schultz for the Senior Citizens Advisory Board. Those are all citizen appointments. Any questions on the appointments? If none, I'll entertain a motion from the council to approve those appointments.
Make a motion to approve the appointments.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the mayoral citizen appointments to boards, committees, and commissions. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Number 2, consider and take action on flood abatement projects as a result of 2019 spring flooding. I believe this was reviewed at the Committee of the Whole. Looks like there's some projects that have been identified from the flooding, and the Wisconsin Emergency Management would cover 70% of those costs. Jason Letha and Jenny Schultz and Dan Elsis from the DPW have worked to identify them. It looks like the total cost would be $8,252.17, and the recommendation of using contingency funds to cover those repairs. Any questions on that? If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion by the council.
I'll make a motion to approve the flood abatement projects for the 2018 spring flooding as defined in the packets.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the flood abatement projects for from the 2019 spring flooding. Any discussion on that motion? If none, could we please take a roll call, Pat?
Johnson?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Tylen?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Number 3, consider and take action on the water quality trading proposal with the town of Beloit. I was not at the last meeting, so I did watch it a little bit. It sounds like what we're doing is allowing Dave Arnott to kind of go back in and continue negotiations with them as far as a long-term agreement.
Yeah, right. We'd have to come back with an official agreement before the council, but this allows us to move forward with the negotiation.
Okay. Any questions from the council on this? I know you had a conversation at the Committee of the Whole with Dave. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion from the council.
Make a motion to take action on the water quality trading proposal with the town of Beloit.
Second?
We have a motion, a second, to take action on or to approve action on the water quality trading proposal with the town of Beloit. Any further discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's approved. Number 4, consider and take action on updated water quality trading conservation practices with the Wisconsin Academy. There was some updated information from the Committee of the Whole meeting, I believe, Patrick. I'll let you
Sure. So at the committee of the whole, Dave spoke to it, but we presented a revised proposal to the academy as we had been negotiating with them, and with the moving of that strategy to the regular meeting tonight, we did present that to the Wisconsin Academy, who had their own process to cover whether they would accept the proposal, and I received word last week that they do accept that. So, like the issue with Beloit, we now move to the phase of documenting and putting together the official agreement with the academy, which will go a long way towards addressing the needs of our discharge permit with the DNR for the wastewater treatment plant.
So we're looking for action to continue moving towards an agreement with them.
Correct.
Trina, did you have a question?
Oh, I had a question. I'm trying to find the part where it says the price per pound of phosphorus for the Wisconsin group. Because I know it says the $55 for Beloit's. So I didn't see a price for the other one, or wasn't sure if we
with
had gotten that
that,
far.
We don't measure that with price per pound. It's paying the academy to change from the cropping to the conservation practices. So we're essentially paying a rent to cover what's lost in from the farming. So it's that cost, as well as the materials, the the plantings and those kinds of things. So it's a little bit different because on the TMDL, as Dave tried to distinguish with the town of Beloit, where we're earning and receiving their payment, this is where we're trying to abate the phosphorus getting in as a tributary to the river.
Does that make sense? The credits are applied downstream, and then that's turned into upstream practices.
Right. We're showing that by doing these practices, we will remove that much from the discharge, which we need to get under for the permit.
Any further questions from the council? Ed?
As we negotiate this, I'm still kind of uncomfortable with the concept of, we're creating a buffer zone, right? That's how this is gonna work. There's a buffer between the field and the stream. And now, the operation and maintenance payment per year of $3,600 for inspections and mowing if needed. Just, to me, I don't know why that would be mowed. Like further inquiry as to that, or as they negotiate the contract.
Yeah, that's noted, and we've actually discussed that. The engineers are really unsure, actually, as to how much maintenance there will be. So it's kind of an up to kind of understanding. So we could narrow that down as we move forward.
Up to sounds a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions from the council? If there are none, I'll entertain any motion from the council on item number 4 then.
I'll make a motion to take action on the water quality trading conservation practices with the Wisconsin Academy.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, consider and take action on task order 2019-04 to study the sanitary sewer on Farnham Street for the 2022 Highway 89 project. This had a couple of visits to the committee of the whole, and I think the last stop there was basically just the concern of budgeting, because we had allotted budget for that task order in the current budget, but Kim Manley has assured us that we have funds available in the capital project funds with the sewer utility to cover this additional engineering work. So I have no further questions. Anyone on the council have questions? If none, I'll entertain any motion from the council then.
Move to approve the task order 2019-04 to study the sanitary sewer on Farnham Street for 2022 Highway 89 project.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve task order 2019-04 for Rupert Milkie. Any discussion on that motion? If none, can we please take a roll call, Pat?
Reed.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Tylen.
Aye.
Traxler. Johnson.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. On to number 6. Consider and take action on a recommendation of Plan Commission to amend Section 114-73 of the Columbus Zoning Code. We had some supplementary information delivered at our spaces tonight for your review. There was a recommendation that came from the Plan Commission meeting last Thursday, so this stuff was not included in our printed packet. I know a little bit about this because I have been on the Plan Commission up until the last meeting. Alder Johnson is now on the Plan Commission, so he was at that meeting. But this is essentially updating the zoning table, from my understanding. Ed?
Yes, at the meeting, Matt went through with us and explained this. This is basically just updating the code and making it much more, the classifications, and making them much more relevant and appropriate to the way we do business. And the Plan Commission agreed unanimously that it was a good idea.
Attorney Johnson, were you able to review the table? Did you have any concerns or discussion with Matt on that?
I discussed this with Matt on several occasions, and I think that this is a much-needed update to what is currently in your ordinance code, and the big, probably the main update is the breaking out of your industrial district into 2 separate districts now, which will help considerably going forward. Other than that, it's just kind of cleaned up a few things. So it is in pretty good shape as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. As a matter of procedure, since this is amending, do we need to waive the rules, waive the reading? Okay. So if the council doesn't have further questions and wish to adopt this amendment to the code tonight, we would need a motion to waive the rules, waive the reading, and then a motion to approve that amendment.
Make a motion to waive the rules.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to waive the rules. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor of waiving the rules, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, now we'll need a motion to waive the reading.
I'll move to waive the reading of the proposed amendment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to waive the reading. Any discussion on that? All those in favor of waiving the reading, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we've done the housekeeping. Now someone can make a motion to amend the section of that code.
I'll move to amend the section 114-73 of the Columbus zoning code in accordance with, move to repeal and recreate section 114-73 of the city code of ordinances pertaining to the district use classification table.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? If none, can we please take a roll call on that, Pat?
Ryan.
Aye.
Tylen. Traxler.
Aye.
Johnson. Reed. Unanimous.
Thank you. Number 7, again, is another recommendation from the Plan Commission meeting last Thursday. That is to approve a conditional use permit for Country Air condos. This is an item that I am not familiar with, so Ed, if you have anything you can offer on this?
Yes, as Matt informed us, this condo association was developed in 2001. Back then, we did not allow, our code did not allow for 0 lot line development as we do now. The condo association, I believe, was delisted with the state, if that's accurate, and so some of the owners are having some difficulties. They're in the process of formally dissolving the condo association. These lots are currently zoned R4, multifamily residential. That's appropriate. The lots would all be conforming to our current code, and by approving this, we're only approving as to any dwellings. It wouldn't allow them to, hey, we've got our lot lines waived, we can do whatever we want. This is only as to the structures. And we had a good discussion about it, and it seems like it would be something that would be very helpful to these property owners. Matt did have, if you look on one page with the signatures, Matt did have the extra signature of the one person who didn't sign on there. Although I see, yeah, one of them said sign separate sheet. Matt had the separate sheet. Everything looked in order. He talked to the neighbors. The neighbors were notified and did not have any issues with this. So we were unanimous in thinking it should move forward.
Thank you, Ed. Attorney Johnson, any?
This is, Ed did a fine job of reciting where this all is, so that's good. But this is step one of about a three-step process. So approving the conditional use will allow each of the 12 owners to then have a certified survey map put together. Most likely each building will have one map done, so there'll be 6 maps, or else they might figure out a way to make fewer maps, but they'll be dividing the units right down the common wall and basically creating 2 units out of 1. And then as that goes, they'll have to complete the process of formally dissolving the condominium association at some point in time, which is a relatively simple process as long as all 12 are in agreement. So this is step 1 tonight. You'll be seeing the rest later on down the road.
Okay, and those will come through as recommendations from the Plan Commission eventually? Okay. Any further questions? If there are no further questions, I'll take any action on item number 7 then.
I'll move to approve the recommendation of the Plan Commission to approve a conditional use permit for Country Air condos.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Okay. Can I do a voice vote on that? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Item number 8, consider and take action on ADA designated parking spot on West James Street. This was discussed at the last committee of the whole. It looks as if there was some review by staff at the DT meeting to discuss whether we had a ADA spot or whether the former spot still existed. It looks like there was some discussion about adding a spot on West James Street on a map that's included in the packet. Since I wasn't at the meeting, the one thing that I had looked at after the meeting was why that ADA spot that was in existence before wasn't automatically assumed to be the current and the current ADA spot moving forward. I do believe there should be probably more than one ADA spot downtown, accessible to the 4 corners to get to any business downtown. My concern with the recommended location is that it seems that it's further away from the corner than the old ADA spot. So unless you are in a vehicle that provides you access directly from the vehicle onto the sidewalk without a curb cutout, someone could be traveling on the road in the parking spaces to get up to the curb, and that's my only concern. And I think Ed made a point that Ludington does receive less traffic than James Street generally. So my concern isn't really that we're having an ADA parking space, it's about where it's located, and I feel like having it closer to the curb cutout on the corner may be safer. But I'm not looking to change directions. I think if we get a spot down there, we should probably look at identifying another location as well. That was my only concern. Andy?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the having on Ludington. I think it was Chief Wiener that was here that said that it provides better sight lines on James Street because you can see it from a longer distance, and then with the bad sight lines, if you're turning right down here on the corner, turning right on the Ludington, if they're coming up, if someone is in a wheelchair trying to get to the curb cutout where it is now, there's less time and less time to react for both parties. So I was in favor of its current location. I don't disagree. I think maybe there should be more than one. Sure. Strategically placed, but from what was presented, I was happy with it.
Okay. I didn't hear that. Maybe Dennis was talking from the peanut gallery instead of at the microphone, but I didn't hear that recommendation, but that makes sense. Katie?
I also recall us talking about, since the reconstruction of James Street, there's more space allotted for people to get out of their cars and that than there is on Ludington.
Because of the bike lane for door openings, et
Correct.
cetera?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Mayor?
Ed?
I just would like to echo what your point, that I'd like to see a more wholesome global discussion of parking downtown, possibly the addition of some short-term parking spots, rather than the 2 hours. Just, I think parking is an issue that it might be time to revisit, more holistically. And, although I'm in favor of moving this forward, having my concerns met, I do think we should need to, at some point, schedule a broader discussion about downtown parking issues.
I agree. This has spurred some needed further discussion, I think, so.
Mayor Tom, just quickly too, I was going to mention both the points that Katie and Andy brought up, but the original request came for to have a spot right there, so that's kind of where it was originated. And we certainly can look at other spots and take into account Ed's suggestion that we look at it, as a parking downtown, holistically.
Sure, we'll try to get something on a future committee of the whole.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion on that, I'll take any action from the council on item number 8.
Move to approve the ADA designated spot on West James Street.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ADA designated parking spot on West James Street. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, thank you. On to number 9 then, consider and take action on updated job description for lieutenant in the police department. I had one question and I asked Dennis before the meeting, so I'm good to go. Any discussion or questions from the council? Dennis is here to answer those. All right, I see none. If there are no questions, I'll entertain any action from the council then on the job description for the lieutenant in the police department.
Move to approve the updated job description for lieutenant in the police department.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve the job description. Any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's approved. Thank you, Dennis. All right, on to item number 10. Consider and take action on bump outs on Highway 89 and 73. This was discussed at the Committee of the Whole meeting. I did get a chance to review some of that meeting as well. I have a whole page full of notes. I don't want to hold this up. I just kind of wanted to give a little history on this in the last 6 years since I've been here, as that is a intersection that has created several discussions here at the council level about the congestion that occurs mostly during school time in the morning with pedestrian crossing, a lot of traffic going that way for commuters, etc. One proposal years ago was putting a stop sign there, which would be stopping traffic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At that time, we didn't feel like there was congestion outside of those regular hours, and so that wasn't adopted by the council. And then a couple of years ago, there was someone had the idea of putting a little basket with some flags, so pedestrians could carry a flag across the crosswalk when it wasn't congested outside of those hours. They were worried that if there was not a crossing guard there, that there were safety concerns. So we've talked about this several times. The one thing I would like to mention is my involvement in the James Street reconstruction beforehand, the design and the colored crosswalks and all that. A large part of that discussion was pedestrian safety, and we do have the bump outs going up James Street. They're not noticeable now, but it looks a lot different than it did before the construction. Those are 8-foot bump outs. Those are full width bump outs, and the bump out that's being proposed here is only 4 feet. I believe the safety concerns that we're having down there could be remediated if we do the same thing and try to implement some of that psychology into the highway. There literally is no stop sign from the four corners all the way out to the on-ramp on 73 in both directions. So I think having something that's incorporated into the infrastructure itself just creates a natural element to the road that people start seeing. My concerns are that if it's going to be an inconvenience for motorists, and we don't want to pester them or hinder them by putting a little piece of concrete on the edge of the road. This isn't just about the people that live in Columbus. There's 5 state highways that connect here, and there are people that don't live in this community that start driving through it when There are busy hours and we have children crossing the crosswalks, and I think ultimately this is something that could help alleviate those safety concerns in that area. So I would hope that we could have a little bit of discussion if there's some concerns or heartache. I know, Andy, you weren't a big fan of it. Trina, you had some concerns too, but I do hope this is something that the council would consider because it's no cost to the city, and I think it kind of mimics other things we've been doing in the community concerning pedestrian safety. That's really all I had. Go ahead, hit the button, Trina.
I guess. All right. So I also want to increase safety. My main concern is just if it'll be causing chronic congestion problems outside of school hours, with people having to wait to a little longer for someone to turn. And also wondering how will that work for the larger trucks turning? Because I know that was going to be a little sizing issue.
Guess from the information that I read, it seemed they've done the designs for the turning radiuses for the trucks, and that's why they want that oversized, overweight concrete in there so they can go up. I don't know how many large trucks want to go through that intersection. As Jason had said, it's an over height highway as well that can't be used. So I think if you consider the worst case scenario, you may have some trucks hitting that concrete, but I think there's going to be very few. And again, I think when it comes to pedestrian safety, when you incorporate some of these elements into your road system, if people think it's inconvenient, they go another way. I'm not going to apologize for that. If there's a lot of pedestrian traffic and there's kids that are trying to cross that, I'm more concerned about pedestrian safety in the community. So I think that the state has designed it to be part of that highway. I don't think that it's going to be an inconvenience for the trucks. I think it'll be more of an inconvenience for people that want to pass on the right. As far as congestion, I've heard things about congestion. I wish we had a problem with congestion in this community, and that's really about it. It's a few minutes a day. So I think pedestrian safety is designed to be an inconvenience to motorists, to get them to slow down and pay attention and be aware that there are safety concerns in the community. And having younger children, I see stuff practically every day when I'm picking my kids up with crossing guards present, and I wish it didn't exist, but I'm a big fan of implementing this type of stuff into the infrastructure because it's a subtle psychology, I guess, that's put in that people don't really notice after a while and seems to be effective. So, Katie?
I would just like to say that I agree with you in seeing several incidents in and around town, even with the crossing guards and that. And truthfully, I think the majority of the congestion occurs during these peak hours of pickup and drop off. But I also think that the mayor brings up a very valid point in that there are all these out-of-towners, passing through our highways every single day and may not understand that this is a school route that children are walking, and the visibility at that particular intersection isn't always the greatest either. If you have a car stopped in front of you, you may not see, obviously that's the concern, you may not see a pedestrian in this crosswalk. So I would hope that we can consider that for the safety of pedestrians, children, and residents.
I was involved in a few meetings before the James Street reconstruction and took a little heat from local business owners that did not like the idea of the bump outs. It cost parking spaces. Ultimately, we did lose parking spaces downtown for the turn routes downtown, but I kind of stuck to it. And I think ultimately when you put these things out into the road, you are shortening the distance that someone's walking in a crosswalk. That's the idea behind it. And there are also businesses in that area. There's a restaurant, there's a brew pub, there's a hardware store, pizza place. So, I mean, if you want people to walk to those businesses in the summer, I think just kind of looking at that intersection, which is the intersection of two state highways, I would like to see something incorporated into that intersection that lets people know there are going to be pedestrians around here, and I don't know that a stop sign is going to solve any of our problems. Then everybody has to stop all the time without any additional. And I don't think that the DOT has suggested signal lights down there. So, all right. All right, unless there's further discussion, are we prepared to make a motion to take action on the bump outs on Highway 89 and 73?
I will make a motion that we accept the proposal of the DOT to install bump outs on the intersection of Highway 89 and 73.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the bump outs on Highway 89, 73. Any discussion on that motion? Thank you, council, for allowing me to speak since I wasn't at the committee of the whole. I do appreciate that. All right, do we need a voice vote or a roll call, or does it matter on that one?
Does not matter.
All right, we'll just do a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Number 11, consider and take action on donation of baskets from Liz Davis and the CDDC for the downtown beautification.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to abstain on this.
All right,
Thank you.
Alder Johnson's going to abstain from this. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. It has been discussed somewhat prior as well. Sounds like there's going to be 10 baskets located, James and Dickinson, 4 of them, James and Water, Ludington and Harrison, and Ludington and Mill. So this will be attached to the brackets that we've already accepted, is that correct? Okay. Any questions on this? If there are no questions, I'll entertain any action from the council.
Make a motion to accept the donation of the baskets from Liz Davis and CDDC for downtown beautification.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the donation of the baskets. Any discussion on that? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Welcome back, Ed.
Like I already never left.
All right. I consider and take action on applications for operators licenses. I didn't see any in the packet. Is that correct? Pat signifies there are none. Then on to number 12, consider and take action on claims in the amount of $123,614.50. Unless there's any questions on the city claims, I'll entertain a motion from the council.
Motion to approve the claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the city claims in the amount read. Any discussion on that? If none, Pat, could you please take a roll call?
Tylen?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Reed? Ryan?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Number 13, report of city officers. Patrick, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. It seems like this time of year we get a string of appreciation for different municipal services, and this week is no different. This week is Public Works Appreciation Week, and I personally want to appreciate our Public Works team. They do a great job. They have lots of things to do to improve our community, and I'm very, very happy with our team. With that, just like to introduce Zach Navin. Was able to introduce him to you a little bit beforehand. I think we got Trina, but Zach's our new Public Works Director and has come in with a lot of energy and excitement, and we're very happy to have him on board. Tomorrow, I'll be joining some folks from Columbus Water and Light to go down to Madison for the League of Wisconsin Municipalities and Municipal Electric Utilities of Wisconsin Lobby Day. So we will be talking about issues important to those groups, which we're both, which we are a member of both. And we'll have an opportunity to visit our legislators, and a couple of the issues in particular are some that we've talked about: the dark store issue, the levy limit talks that are taking place with the state budget, and transportation aids, among others. So I'll be able to see our legislators face to face, hopefully, or at least their staffs, and try to make some impact on to those issues that are important to us. And just last, I'd like to just express my thanks and appreciation for librarian Cindy Fessmeyer. Her last day is coming up. Always appreciated her energy and leadership over at the library, and wish her the best of luck. So that's all.
Thanks, Patrick. To follow up on Patrick about Cindy a little bit, on Friday, May 31st from 4 to 6 p.m., the library does their annual Friday Night Out event, which is the kickoff to their summer reading program. And that's also going to be an opportunity to come and say goodbye to Cindy and thank her for what she's done in her time here. She's been here since 2012, I believe, which was before my time here, and to thank her and wish her well in the future. I plan to attend. Again, that's Friday the 31st from 4 to 6 p.m. out on the library lawn. There'll be ice cream and maybe a magician or something, but there's several events for families. It's a good time. Wanted to thank Andy for filling in for me at the last meeting. I was ill. You had a long evening. Thank you. Did a good job. And also, lastly, I know you've approved 5 more people for citizen appointments, mayoral appointments tonight. Thank you for that. It's been a joy talking to people. There are still some appointments that I'm going to have to refine and talk to Pat about some ordinance information. We may have to change some confusion, work out some kinks yet. But ever since we've done the online application for boards, committees, and commissions, I think we've found some really great people that maybe haven't lived in town a couple of years. They want to be involved and engaged, and it's been just a great discussion. It's been something I need to hear from people sometimes because there's other things chattering out in an alternative universe, it seems like. And it's good to hear people want to get involved and they want to come to the table and be a part of the community. So that's been very uplifting dealing with. And again, I'll have a updated list hopefully at the next meeting of the last few appointments that are left out there. But that's all I had. Anyone else have something up here to add? Or if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll stand adjourned for a few minutes and return with the committee of the whole. Thank you.